So you're up in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And so you're now a driver for your brother who is a doctor.
Well, I don't have a job, so.
Yeah. Is it like a conference?
Yeah. He's got to present a poster, like a study that he did.
What do you know what the study was? Are you allowed to divulge that information?
I think it's about binge eating and ADHD.
Nice. I need to know the results of that study. So that's cool. So you're up in Minneapolis. I assume you're at a hotel.
Yeah, we're at the Doubletree.
Doubletree. Okay. And you'd mentioned that your brother, like yourself, is very forgetful when it comes to travel and actually didn't book a hotel room before you all left. Is that right? He
didn't plan ahead. He didn't put it off to the last minute. He didn't have his clothes. He didn't have his poster either. He had to get his poster printed up here. We had to go drive to Office Max and get it. And then we went to JCPenney so he could buy a suit.
He didn't have a suit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, why didn't you do this stuff?
So what is he? He's a fucking doctor. What does he wear to work if he's not wearing a suit?
I don't know, lab coat.
So is he but he's there now. Is the conference over with and now you're just hanging out? Is that the
No, I think he's getting ready to go down there.
Oh, it's today. So the conference is today. So he's getting ready.
Yep, so we left yesterday.
Yeah.
Do the thing today and come back tomorrow.
Gotcha.
13-hour drive for a day.
Damn. Well, you're a good brother. I can tell you that right now. There aren't many brothers that would step up like that. It's a GeekZip podcast. Ryan Zip is coming at you from the Zip Cave in Huntington, West Virginia. Christian, out of nowhere, texted me on, what was it, Friday or Thursday? I can't remember.
Thursday.
Yeah,
well, it came out of nowhere to me, too.
And he's like, hey, I'm in Minneapolis this weekend, so we're going to have to do remote. At least you grabbed your shit to do the remote. I appreciate you doing that at the very least. Well, that's cool, man. Have you gotten to go out in town at all? I mean, we
went down to Target.
Okay, so you got to see some of the city. I mean, are you like in the downtown area?
My brother keeps looking at big buildings, thinking they look like they're from Judge Dredd.
Damn.
Or just Dredd, not Judge Dredd.
Okay, I was going to say they look CGI.
The big block buildings.
Mega city.
Yeah,
that's cool. So are you you're in the downtown area?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're right in the middle of the shit. Are you going to go walking around today, or what are you going to do? While he's conferencing. Nothing?
I just lay in this hotel room. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's a place called Hell's Kitchen nearby I might want to go try. I don't think it's related to that Gordon Ramsay shit. But
well, how the fuck are they called Hell's Kitchen then? Damn, dude, you might have just exposed them, dude. They're gonna have a fucking lawsuit now. You just exposed them. So that's cool. All right, let's talk turkey. What have you been doing? Did you download Starfield? Have you been playing it at all?
I started it a little bit.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah,
I don't really like the ship stuff in it, flying the ship and shooting and stuff.
Well, I mean,
I'm not a good pilot.
Here's the thing. It's like I don't mind the ship stuff. That's cool, and I hope. What my hope is that once you get through the campaign, you can just kind of free roam. I think that's the deal, I believe. And so I don't mind the ship so much. What I mind is like you can't fucking do anything in the ships except dock and land and fucking, you can't like fly through the atmosphere down to the planet.
Yeah.
You have to face the planet and fucking.
I think because you can do that in like No Man's Sky.
Really? You can do that? There's a game you can do that in?
Yeah, No Man's Sky.
I couldn't find that underwater game you talked about last week.
As good as, or like a story as good as the.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you should check it out then, dude.
So yeah, it's like because I like the idea of Starfield, and plus I don't really get it yet. Like I'm collecting everything that I see, and you can literally collect everything: pens, notebooks, paper, fucking toilet paper, fucking anything and everything. I don't know why I'm collecting it. It's just available to be collected.
It's a Bethesda game, dude. It's like Fallout.
You're right. Everything. You're right. And to be perfectly honest with you, there was some of that in Red Dead. Honestly, where you just picked up a bullshit that you had no business carrying, didn't need, and never used.
Do you have a weight limit in that game too?
You had it was more of the slot shit. Remember, like the traditional,
like a Diablo kind of
inventory.
Like
you only have so much inventory space. It wasn't. I like the weight deal. That's an interesting concept. But Bethesda always does that, right? Yeah, right.
The weight gets you get over encumbered. It's like, oh, I'm carrying too much stuff.
And then your assistant's like, I can carry whatever you want. It's like, she's Phil. It's like she's carrying too much, and then you put it in the ship. And I look at the ship safe, and I'm like, it's like zero. It's like blanked out. So I'm like, oh, it's unlimited. Sweet, I can throw it. No, it's got a limit. You fill that up very quickly. So yeah. And I don't like the weapons. I really don't like the weapons. I don't get them. Like the higher level weapons seem to be pussy weapons. I don't know, and don't do nearly as much damage as like a hand pistol. And it's just like, I guess maybe that has a lot to do with your upgrades in the game and how you skill up and shit like that. But
sure.
I'm definitely going to keep playing.
I totaled my ship trying to dock it, dude. It's got no health, and I don't know how to get back to a place to heal my ship. And the part where I'm at, I'm supposed to I come out of hyperspace and get attacked by somebody, and
I'm like, go back.
I don't have any health.
Just go back to the last save point.
I don't know how to get there. I can reload my game.
You hit pause and load, and then you see all your auto saves.
I don't want to have to reload. I should be able to just go back to where I can pay somebody to fix my ship, but I can't figure out where to go to do that. That's
another thing, too. It's like, I'm sure I can pay people because, see, what happened was I got on the ship and I developed a cough. Okay, and so I would cough, and it would say cough on your little health meter down in the bottom, and I'd be like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do about it?" So I slept.
Get a doctor or something.
I slept, and that didn't do shit. And then like there's one of those inhaler things, and I was like, "Oh fuck it!" It didn't say anything in the description about healing a cough. And that's what my health thing said. It said, look for something that heals a cough.
You're just taking the drugs in the game.
It's like, where do you get the fucking drugs from? And so, there's a lot that's just like kind of overblown, that's just like overdone. Why in the fuck would I be gathering styrofoam cups? Explain this to me. I don't know.
Maybe you're making napalm.
Possible. I mean, I guess that's right. I guess I don't think about breaking it down to a fucking chemical base, but again, that's like you said, Bethesda games for you. What have you been watching? Did you watch Ahsoka?
No, still haven't. I heard it was a good episode.
It was a good one. It was a good episode. Rey shines in this one. Him and Ahsoka have a great battle, so I recommended watching it. Number 5 is apparently going to be something major, and I'm talking Anakin Skywalker major because
do you know how many there's supposed to be?
I don't. That's what I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if this is like a 10-episode series. I would assume it'd be like 10 or 13, like The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan and all that shit. I don't know why you'd make like a big-ass season. But like you said, I don't... Is there like 6 episodes? Is there 7 episodes? That'd be different. I don't really know. That's a good question. But I know they're on 5 now, and I know that there are even some movie theaters that are going to be showing the 5th episode of Ahsoka in anticipation of how big the crowds are going to be. So it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. I really like the show. I mean, I know it's getting a little bit of hate. I mean, there's some things that I'm just like, well, they have to put that in there, because it can't be the perfect show. What we all want is Knights of the Old Republic. That's what we want. Unfortunately, that's just never going to happen. So there's that. What else? Me and Kush, she wanted to get into a franchise for Halloween. So I was like, okay, what do you want to do? You want to go Texas Chainsaw Massacre? You want to go Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street? She wanted to go down the Halloween path. So I had to spend an hour explaining the way Halloween is connected into which films,
the branching timelines.
Yes, I had to go through all that with her. I had to say, okay, you have to watch the original. That's the only good thing about any timeline that you watch those movies is you have to start with the original. You have to watch
number 3. Number 3 is the best one.
Well, you can watch number 3. I don't have number 3. I was a tool.
Lucky for you, it's on Peacock this.
I saw it. I may fucking watch it. I did see it. I did see a bunch of horror movies on Peacock, and I have watched a few already. That Late Phases movie is on there. Remember I told you about that blind war vet that takes on the werewolf?
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. What else did I watch? I watched a couple on there. I watched some of the Psychos sequels, which I always enjoy watching around Halloween for some reason. I don't really watch those any other time of year.
I was going to try watching those Children of the Corn sequels.
Oh, man, goddamn. I didn't even want to go down that fucking rabbit hole. So anyway, we watched the original Halloween, and then so I told her there's basically 3 directions you can go from here. You can watch the direct sequel to the original with Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance that they made in like 82 or whatever. You can skip ahead to Rob Zombie's remake and start there and watch those 2. Or you could skip directly to David Gordon Green's Halloween from 2018. She opted to go, because she likes the modern horror movies, so she opted to go for David Gordon Green. So we have watched Halloween and Halloween Kills. And she watched Halloween, and she fucking, I'm talking about 2018 Halloween. She fucking loved it. That's why I told her. She's like, oh, God, is Halloween Kills just as good? And it's so funny. I kept repeating the phrase. I was like, we just watched a really good one, and now we have to watch the other ones. She'd keep asking me the same. So Halloween Kills, it's about the same? And I'd just be like, we watched the good one. Now we have to watch the others. And
she could say, at least it doesn't have Busta Rhymes in it.
We talked about that. I mean, when we went down the tree, we talked about that branch and how I'd like to fucking cut it off with a chainsaw. All right, what have you been watching then? You haven't been watching Ahsoka. Have you been watching anything, or you just been playing?
I kind of started that Fear the Walking Dead latest season. It's like after the nuclear bomb went off.
Is this the one with Daryl and with Daryl and
no, the spinoff Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's
get into your news, man. We got a lot of news to get through and stuff.
That's all right. We can take our time.
We've been talking a while, I think.
15 minutes. It's about what we normally do. But we'll get into it nevertheless. That's fine. All right.
I don't know what else I've been watching.
Well, yeah, I guess you're like, you're just boring, I guess. We got this news on Thursday or Wednesday of last week that
we lost an all-star.
Singer from Smash Mouth, Steve Harwell, had acute liver failure and only had weeks to live. And he didn't last 2 days. He passed away at the age of 56. He retired from Smash Mouth 2 years ago, and I guess he had a major problem with alcohol, and it's an unfortunate situation. You know, I don't think he's so famous that, you know, we're going to mourn him into the month, you know, or whatever. But he had a lot of hits and a Grammy nod, and
a lot of people grew up with Shrek, dude, and he had some songs in Shrek that were big.
Yep. Absolutely. So, all our best to his fans, his family. Smash Mouth singer Steve Harwell passes away. So, Christian, I told you I was going to be doing this a little different. So
you keep worrying me. It sounds like you're talking about Steve Harvey.
No, Steve Harvey's alive and well.
Good.
All right. Next up, we have a famous musician, Gary Wright. If you ever heard the song Dreamweaver.
I've heard of the Dreamweaver.
Yes, everybody heard Dreamweaver is made famous in Wayne's World, which I watched this week as well. Watched both those. He died at the age of 80.
When did they play Dreamweaver in Wayne's World?
When he's looking up at Cassandra and the shit's sparkling around her. It's like, ooh, Dreamweaver.
Mm-hmm.
He was apparently a very famous studio musician. After reading this article, and actually worked with B.B. King, the Beatles, Steve Miller's, and a whole bunch of other stuff before he went on to single fame with the big Dreamweaver song, which is really kind of trippy and synthy and right up that alley. So all our best to his family fans. And finally, we had a wrestling legend. Well, I don't know if I'd call him a legend. Former wrestling veteran. Let's call him a veteran. General Adnan died at age 84, and you would remember him from 80s wrestling. I think he managed Sheik for a while, and then I think he also managed Giant. No, he fought Giant. That's what I knew.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, Andre the Giant. That's what I fucking mean. I'll say Paul White if I'm talking about fucking Big Show. So
well, why don't you just say Big Show?
If I say or Big Show, yeah, there you go. You're right. So when I say the Giant, I mean fucking Andre.
It's the Giant. WCW Giant.
And again, he was a big part of the storyline with Iron Sheik and Slaughter through the 80s. The
patriotism, baby.
The G.I. Joe storyline, which I always was a fan of. I always was a fan of it, for sure. All right. Let's see here. Rotten Tomatoes is not having a good month so far. Pretty much confirming what I've always believed.
Are we on to strike news?
No. We're right here. I'm just opening up some tabs so we don't.
I heard you say something about Rotten Tomatoes. There it is.
So if you haven't heard by now, the news came out that Rotten Tomatoes has been, I guess, accused of allegedly paying critics for reviews for both positive and negative reviews.
Is the pay based on if it's positive or negative, or is it just paying for a review?
I think it's just paying for the review. This was a article that appeared in Vulture magazine where the company in question paid critics $50 or more for each review. And like I said, it could be a situation where they are praising it or they are crapping on it. So this has raised a lot of questions about movies that have been killed by their Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Sure. One that comes to mind very quickly is Batman vs. Superman. Dawn of Justice. That was decimated by Rotten Tomatoes, and that's really the only negative thing that came out of that whole movie. So it makes you question a lot of things over the past however long we've been following Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't pay much attention
to
their ratings.
Me neither, luckily. But, a lot of people do. And especially a lot of comic book fans do.
I like Metacritic, though. I do like Metacritic.
I look at other ratings. You're right. I do look at other ratings. I really don't look at Rotten Tomatoes because I've never trusted that shit. It has always been off to me, and I've been like, that can't be fucking right. And they got caught, and I'm glad they got caught. That's bullshit. You're influencing and destroying people's fucking livelihoods for some goddamn reason. Who knows? I don't know why. But it's a terrible, terrible thing for a lot of people who relied on those reviews. I mean, a lot of companies that relied on those reviews. I mean, how many Rotten Tomatoes review scores do you see on these streaming sites for the shows that you're getting ready to watch? It always gives it to you. It gives you the score. I mean, I've seen the Metacritic score before, but not very many. Usually it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. I mean, I don't think anything's happened thus far in terms of as a company, but I don't think, obviously the trust will not be there. But we'll have to wait and see if there is any fallout from that. I don't get into the pop headlines very often, but this really came as a shock. Yeah, you did. And I was like, okay, we can talk about that for sure. Because it's Jimmy Fallon.
Toxic Jimmy Fallon.
So first it was Ellen, and then it was, first it was Roseanne, and then it was Ellen, then blah, 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 blah. And now we find out that The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, what we thought was the happiest fucking place in Hollywood, is apparently a toxic work environment as well.
Apparently you never know if you're going to get the good Jimmy or the bad Jimmy. That's usually bad Jimmy shows up on days where he's hungover.
Now, a lot of course, if you're watching our video feed, I actually have the actual Rolling Stone article, which you can read if you have a Rolling Stone subscription. I do not. But a lot of the excerpts...
there's ways around it.
I'm going there. A lot of the excerpts from the article have already been published online, and that's what Christian's referring to. A lot of parts of
I read the Rolling Stone article.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. That's cool. Well, I have seen that's how I know about it, is from like excerpts that have been taken from it on other sources. That's how I found out about it. But
I tried looking up YouTube for more information. It had like clips of his, I guess, apology video that he did to his staff.
Did he do apology video? I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Wow. On YouTube?
I think so.
That's hilarious. Here's the thing, though. You'll have to define a lot more specifically
what he did to make
because I mean, you're working in Hollywood.
Sensitive people, or is he
a
super asshole?
Right. And I don't really get it. It's like what It's hard. What you're asking yourself is he really a dick, or are these people snowflakes, and just can't handle it? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I'll watch this later. I'm not going to watch the whole thing right now, but I didn't know.
Maybe Tony Khan can get an investigation into it.
Get his crack team on it. They're so good at business. Let me tell you. We'll get into that, of course. So anyway, we'll let you know more if anything comes out about this story. Of course, the Hollywood strike continues, so there is no Tonight Show happening. So a lot of things have been on rerun or repeat or syndication. So I know they were planning some kind of thing together, all of them, weren't they? Like him and Kimmel,
like a podcast thing.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure.
Strike Force or something.
How that will affect, if this will affect that or not, but we'll let you know. All right, let's get over to our strike news.
I think it's a funny story because I don't like Jimmy Fallon.
You don't like him at all? Like
Not
haven't
really.
ever?
He's very annoying.
Really?
I think so.
I can see that actually, because I it is so hard to keep character. That's why I admire the people on Saturday Night Live that do have the ability to hold character, like Kevin Nealon, because he could. I've never seen Kevin Nealon break fucking character ever. Now it's like normal. They break character every week, and it is funny when they break character because they're not supposed to. But Fallon, that's kind of how he got his fame, was breaking character. And, and he does have that annoying fucking girl laugh when he's sitting there at the fucking...
There you go, dude. That's a good one, yeah.
So, yeah, I can see that. But I never thought in a million years that it would be as bad as they made it out to be, But they have gone through a lot of fucking showrunners, right? So it's like, I don't know. We'll see. Over into strike news. This fucking story I think is hilarious. Is this not the am I the only one that finds this whole situation fucking insane with this strike? Am I the only one? $300 to $500 million in losses. Okay? That's how much Warner Brothers is going to take on the fucking chin this year for this strike. What the writers were asking for would have cost them $70 million. Someone explain this to me, please. Anybody? You can't, can you?
Money.
But you've spent 5 times what you were going to spend on what they wanted, and they would have gone back to work, and you would have gotten your products, and there wouldn't have been no pushbacks or delays. What is the thinking here? I don't understand. Like what is their objective?
They got to punish them, dude, for trying to bite the hand that feeds.
How? I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, at that point, when you see this headline, right, and the headline is, Warner Brothers Discovery says it will take $300 million to $500 million hit in 2023 earnings due to dual Writers Guild and Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA strikes. That's what the headline says.
Well, you got to remember, this is the same people that canceled the Batwoman movie or whatever. Was it Batgirl or Batwoman?
Batgirl.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you're talking about that is an exorbitant amount of money. $300 to $500 million.
I guess not to them,
My ass. Okay, and I got stories here that show the effects of it. After we get past this, of course. Daredevil Born Again, unfortunately, will not be released until the second half of 2025. Another victim of the damn strikes.
That's terrible news.
Supernatural cast did reunite on the picket line. There were no Winchester brothers, but Misha Collins showed up, Christian.
All right, good.
He was taking some selfies and stuff, and there were some notable cast members that were present. You can go into the story and check it out. Honestly, I didn't. I just knew that Misha was there because he had all the stuff on his timeline. Looks like Bobby. I see Bobby there and probably a bunch of demons that weren't important enough to remember. But it is cool. And Padalecki did show his support on his Instagram. I'm sure he's filming or shooting. They actually do have jobs. Felicia Day, who was, of course, what was her name in the show?
Charlie.
Redhead. showing her support. So it's cool that Supernatural brothers and sisters were able to unite around this cause, which at this point is just like, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. And I put that in the Facebook post. I put shocked faces. I'm like, what the fuck? What is their end game here? I don't understand.
Starve them out.
But you're not starving them out. You're starving yourself out.
No,
that's
dude,
the problem.
Got millions in the bank. They can't compete with
Dude,
us.
Those millions go quick when you're not bringing anything in. And again, so this leads to another story that I pulled up, that they're now ending known collaborations with some of their biggest people. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, Greg Berlanti, Mindy Kaling, Bill Lawrence, and more. These deals have been suspended because they're taking it on the fucking chin so bad.
They should have fired her after Velma.
You just love to stir the shit, don't you?
How much money did they give J.J. Abrams, and what did they get for it? Nothing?
Well, I mean, the thing about that is J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot have a lot of, for lack of a better word, clout attached to their name. I mean, the Bad Robot logo alone, people recognize that and they kind of perk up and go, oh, this must be a J.J. Abrams project. Maybe I'll check this out. Same thing with Mindy and Chuck Lorre, who did all those fucking sitcoms, people that are into that shit. They're going to notice. Absolutely, they're going to notice that shit's not around anymore. And,
well, I just meant they never made a show or anything. They paid all this money. And
but they were consulting, right? So it's like they could always go to JJ if they had something, and he could consult them, and say, okay, I'll attach my name to this or attach my name to that. At least that's what I read into the article. Well, is that it was more about them being able to attach their names to stuff than actually contributing, and that's all I was saying. So, again, the strike continues. No one is giving, either side any kind of room. Well, no, I take that back. I think the writers have tried several times, but the studios prefer to lose hundreds of millions as opposed to tens of millions. So, your guess is fucking as good as mine. I don't get it one fucking bit. But, nevertheless, let's continue. We did find out that Tony Khan, following the AEW All-In controversy backstage between CM Punk and Jack Perry is indeed indefinitely suspended from wrestling in AEW.
Well, you said it last week. He could have walked away from CM Punk, and he didn't.
He could have. But at the same time, this is clearly just a fucking slap on the wrist. I'm sure, because there was indefinitely, that could mean anything. That could mean that Tony went to him and said, okay, take a month and go on vacation and blah, blah, blah. We're going to say you're suspended, but, is it suspended with pay? That's another question, because they got a guaranteed contract. So is it suspended with his pay? That's what I'd ask. So, again, the whole situation continues to just go fucking nuts. And it's not helping their fucking ratings either, as we come to find out, because AEW Collision lost about almost 350 viewers on their September 2nd show. This is the show directly after CM Punk was let go. So they got a lot of work to do on that show. So AEW, and I'm sure that people like us and other people that cover these situations probably add a lot of bullshit to the situation, but you can't deny that this would affect your locker room in a negative way. And now we're hearing more stories, and I'll just tell you, there are all kinds of stories right now about this whole CM Punk thing and him and WWE, and whether he's going to go there or not, whether he's going to go to Impact, or whether he's going to go back to Ring of Honor, or whether he's going to go over to OVW and do something crazy. Tons of articles, right? So I didn't share all those this week because it's like no one knows what the fuck he's going to do, right? He hasn't even responded to the situation yet. So, again, it really is still a developing situation, and I'm not going to take anybody's word for anything until I hear what Punk has to say. And I'm just wondering what platform he's going to decide to go with, to make these kinds of announcements,
Yeah, he's got to find a promoter that wants to work with him.
I mean, goddamn, how many bridges has that motherfucker set on fire behind him, and set dynamite to and blown the fuck up? I don't know. You all right?
Yeah.
Quiet today.
I didn't have a chance to prepare.
Well, what do you think about that? What do you think about the drop in viewers? I mean, do you think that's 'cause...
I don't know how many they normally get.
Well, I think normally it's about 100 to 200,000 more. It was a significant drop, let's say that. I mean, if you're not just paying attention to the straight numbers, they were the lowest in the history of the show.
Oh, okay.
So,
but again, I don't know how they compare.
Well, the fact that they were the lowest in the history of the show, that says something.
The same day that he got fired, yeah.
And it may just be a statement, but who knows? When CM Punk was released, it wasn't long before Ace Steel followed him after the whole brawl out situation. They fired him, and then they brought him back when CM Punk was supposedly going to work out, and then they fired him again.
Well, yeah. He's part of CM Punk's posse.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, do you think that's what's going on? Is it's a posse thing? It's like a group thing, one against the other?
Well, I mean, that's why they brought Ace Steel back, was because CM Punk got, wanted him back. He's CM Punk's buddy.
So let me ask you this. If you're not in with the Elite, are you screwed if you work for AEW?
No.
No? Okay. Well, again, this is just a mess. And then did you see that stupid shit they did where they were drinking Pepsi and eating pizza in Chicago and dancing around? They went out and did a victory lap on Collision. The Young Bucks and Adam Page, or maybe not Adam Page. It was Adam Page. But yeah, they after the show, and there's footage out there, they went out and did a fucking victory lap. And to me, that just adds more fuel to the fucking fact that you're a bunch of children. This is not a good thing. I mean, it's good that it gets a toxic element out of your locker room, but don't act like it's some kind of fucking personal victory. Jesus.
I don't know, dude. I'm pretty excited about it.
All right. Well, we'll continue to follow what CM Punk decides to do. I know that he will eventually say something. We're just kind of waiting on that to happen, and what he says.
You think he's going to wrestle again?
I think that if he wrestles again, first of all, I don't know. That's like a 50-50 for me. Half of me says no, because let's face it, he really probably doesn't need to in the grand scheme of things. But part of me saw something when he returned initially that he may not think that his story is over, right? Mm-hmm. So if he does go back to wrestling, I do not fucking think it'll be for the WWE. That would highly surprise me. A, because nobody likes him over there, and B, because of the shit that he's talked since he left that company. I mean, think all the shit talking that he did. I mean, you can't just ignore that.
Well, I remember when they were asking Seth Rollins what he thought about CM Punk, and he was just laughing about it.
And that's, that may go along, which kind of surprised me, because from what I understand, Punk and Moxley get along. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is just like a fucking Shield thing. But yeah, no, I don't think anybody in WWE wants him fucking back. Maybe some of the vets that never interact with fucking anybody in the locker room. I'm sure Roman was probably like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having him back. And Cody, he's probably, yeah, sure. He's got his own fucking tour bus that he changes on and does everything. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks. Speaking of which, we've learned that the WWE UFC merger deal with the Endeavor Group is going to create a new entity called TKO Group. Their holdings are expected to close today as this show drops. We're recording Saturday the 9th, but today is the 12th because we dropped the show. Everyone is kind of speculating on what this will mean in terms of product, content, workers, Vince, Dana. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out how this is going to work. I mean, if it's a smart company, I would think that you kind of keep it separate at the lower levels. Maybe trade off ones that kind of want to get into that to give them an opportunity to maybe try new things. I mean, like a wrestler maybe wanting to do a UFC fight. Now, obviously, if they can,
they'll bring back Ken Shamrock and they'll fight in that one little pit they used to have. Remember that thing?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Shane McMahon hosted it. No, I think the UFC has always been something that Vince has admired, and actually maybe even wished was his, because I think it took it further than he could in the wrestling world. I think that's where he was wanting to go, but knew that wouldn't happen. It just, the people weren't ready for that. Now that's not to say that they were ready for it when Dana brought it because it wasn't very popular when it first came out. But now it's a huge moneymaker. So we'll let you know once this deal closes, and if there are any, mixing of the two brands. I'm not real sure that would be smart right off the bat, but I'm sure it's being discussed, and we'll let you know what happens. Congratulations to your boy Gunther, Christian. He is now the longest Intercontinental Champion in WWE/F history. He surpassed the Honky Tonk Man's record of 454 days. He has now been champion for over 455 days and counting.
The ring general, maybe Ultimate Warrior will come out and squash him, dude, and take the title
I think he's dead, but...
yeah, but maybe...
It's interesting, and it really sets up something for whoever they decide to take it off him.
Dude, you should see old pictures of Gunther.
Really?
Like when he was young, he looks like that Generation Z wrestler from your combat, ACW or whatever, the one that you CCW, Combat Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's the evolution of a wrestler, really, and you got to work in the business a long time now to get up to the WWE main roster. Let's face it. You don't have a bunch of young guys up there, right? I mean, am I wrong? They're not. No. I mean, Seth Rollins, he's, early 30s? Same with Roman. Same with Cody. So, yeah. Gunther, I like watching him work. He's very technical. It's really fun watching his matches. And all the best to him. I know he's a heel, but I fucking like him. Christian, did you see this shit?
Dude.
So, I guess last Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday. They had the WWE Superstar Spectacle in India, right, Christian?
Has that been on yet?
I believe it's on the network, yes. I'm not sure. I did not watch. But apparently... Becky Lynch was not able to make it to the show because her passport had a tiny tear in it.
I bet CM Punk ripped it, dude.
You think it was CM Punk? He's behind it all?
He is sneaky. A little tear in my passport, and you're not allowed to board a flight.
That, and I think, I can't remember what they replaced her match with. I saw it yesterday, but and she makes sure, it points out this was Qatar Airways that was creating this stink.
That's probably her passport's ripped in half. She's like, it's just a little tear.
So you're for the airline. You're
Hey man, we got to be safe. I don't know who she is. Those passports are important.
They matter. That's what you're saying, right? Is that this is nothing to fuck with. That's what you're saying, right?
I don't mess with Qatar.
Smart man. All right. So apparently, and I had to go back and watch this shit, but apparently way back in 2007, there was a movie, you may remember it, called Grindhouse.
Double feature?
This was the double feature that was done by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino that featured, what was it? It was Death Proof.
Planet Terror.
And Planet Terror.
What? Death Proof.
Death Proof and Planet Terror. And as a funny kind of, jab to exploitive films in the 70s and, that
it
old...
had some crazy trailers in it, like
crazy
Machete.
trailer. Machete was one of them. Of course, everybody remembers that, and it got made into a feature film. Now, one of the guys who made one of the trailers on that Grindhouse film, the Thanksgiving trailer, is now making it into a feature film. It's Eli Roth. And it's going to hit theaters this year on November 17th. Didn't even know he was making this shit.
There's been a few Thanksgiving horror movies.
Well, I remember the one with the turkey.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
That one's Thanksgiving. I think there's
something like
three
that.
or four of that.
But I don't know what other Thanksgiving.
There's another one on Hulu, I think, called Pilgrims.
Is it like during Pilgrim times, or is it like a Pilgrim killer?
It's like a Pilgrim killer.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I don't know much about this. I don't know much. I see Gina Gershon. I don't know many of the other names in the cast. Christian here. But I guess it's set.
Rick Hoffman, dude.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the name. Neil Verloc, Milo Manheim,
Jalen Thomas Brooks,
Tom Dillon, Dylan Thomas,
Tim Dillon,
Tom Dillon,
Tommy Dillon,
Dylan.
Hey Dylan. Okay. There is a teaser trailer that you can check out. We posted it online, but again, November 17th is when that is going to drop. Something that's dropping soon is going to be Apple TV's new Monarch series, Legacy of Monsters, and we got our official teaser trailer for that. Did you watch it, Christian?
No, how was it? Did you watch it?
It was really good. I liked it a lot. It actually, you see John Goodman's character from Skull Island. Skonk Island. And
Skonk. He's not King Kong.
Skonk Island. There he is. You saw him there. But yes, it's very interesting, and it looks like it's going to take place over, and I think we covered this already, but over several points in time. Yeah. From the attack from the first Gareth Edwards film in San Francisco, even back in time before that. There was a lot of cool sequences on there.
I did watch a trailer for that new Godzilla -1.
That was good. Yes, I love Toho Godzilla movies. You know this. Shin Godzilla was a great fucking movie. I loved it. I would have liked to have seen a sequel to that, but the fact they're making another one is fine. I'll take it.
I liked how they were all Asian saying like Godzilla -1.
Yep. -1. But this show looks really good, and let me tell you, it looks like one of the fucking movies too. It doesn't look like a fucking show. It looks like one of the movies.
Apple TV shows are usually pretty nice.
All right,
they usually go all out. Excuse me.
That's all right. I'm going to take a drink of water.
I'll take a drink of Gatorade. I'll match your water with my Gatorade Red Bull combo.
Go for it. All right, moving right along.
Now?
We got The Exorcist Believer. There's a new trailer out, and we saw a lot of scary shit in it. I highly recommend you watch this. It really explores a little bit more of the relationship with Ellen Burstyn's character, Chris McNeil.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just a little bit, not much. Just that they know each other, the demon and Chris. So
we know each other.
Very excited about this film. I cannot wait for it to hit theaters on October 6th. I will happily be at the theater to watch this one, no doubt about it. Christian, what do you know about this Talk to Me movie from A24? What do you know about this? You know anything about this movie?
It had the hand. There was
I know there was like a severed hand here, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like reaching out, like reaching out at you, right? Well, apparently it is an Australian horror film, and it has now become the highest grossing horror film that A24 has ever done. And we're talking a company that did The Witch and Hereditary and Lamb and all kinds of other films that were really hugely popular at the box office. It's really impressive, you know?
They've had some bombs too, though.
Well, yeah.
Like that Beau is Afraid or whatever.
Yes, for sure. And I think, did they do Antlers? I think they did Antlers.
Did they? I've watched
I can't
that one.
remember.
I like that
Antlers is okay, yeah. But what I'm saying is like, it's definitely something for you to check out, and I will be checking it out. It drops.
This one seems like a teen kind of show.
Is it a show or a movie?
Well, no, I mean a movie. I just meant it's kind of geared to a younger audience, it seems like.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. You know,
like a Scream or something.
Well, aren't the guys that made it, weren't they like YouTubers at first? And like it was kind of like a goofy concept and turned into this show or something like that. I think I read
That's what it says, yeah.
So we got a lot of good horror movies this year, you know?
It says the plot concerns a group of teenagers who discover an embalmed hand that allows them to become possessed by spirits.
Wow.
Using this as a supernatural high, the teens end up taking things too far and invite something terrible into the world.
So they get stoned off of it.
Yeah, dude. They're like, I'm possessed by the fucking monster. Yeah, they turn ganja. They turn into Rastafarians.
Great. Ghost of Bob Marley haunts this place.
I don't know what I'm doing. Get him, Kanuki.
Oh, damn. I want to watch this movie. I have not seen it. I want to see it. It drops.
Did you watch The Meg too?
No, I want to watch that one too. I want to watch
Blue
Boogeyman. No, I haven't watched.
What are you doing?
Shit. Dude, I have no time. There's too much. There's too much.
Too much to watch.
Too much to watch. That's all right. We have been waiting many years for a sequel to 28 Weeks Later, which was a sequel to 28 Days Later, which kind of revolutionized the zombie genre. I'm
still waiting on 28 Minutes Later.
I think we saw that, though, in 28 days
28
later.
hours later, dude.
And eventually it'll be 28 years later, and then we'll be like, shit, we're all dead. But it's interesting because Cillian Murphy...
years later.
Cillian
Murphy... old zombies, man.
Right. Cillian Murphy, you know, since his journey started around 28 Days Later, at least that's when I started seeing him and stuff.
Yeah.
Now
isn't he like Irish or something?
He's maybe, yeah, something like that.
He's European.
Yeah, he's from Europe,
somewhere over there,
somewhere across the ocean. But now, like, he is this amazing star, and you know, doing Oppenheimer and these incredible films with Christopher Nolan and the Peaky Blinders show, which I will confess I've never really watched any of, but I hear is amazing, and he is also amazing in it. So
he was Scarecrow.
Christopher Nolan films again. You know, it's like he goes off and he makes all these amazing films with Christopher Nolan. So the idea that he would be down for 28 months later is awesome to me, because it's like he doesn't forget where he came from. He doesn't forget those horror roots, as so many
He's
tend
not like
to do.
Batista.
I'm not going to talk about Batista this week, because that's all you ever want to talk about is Batista.
Well, I mean, you know, he doesn't remember where he came from, dude.
Good news for Crow fans. Lionsgate finally has obtained all rights to the reboot, and we are ready to go with the long-awaited film with Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven in The Crow. Finally.
I'll call, motherfuckers.
In 1994, a film was made that really was an incredible film that had the potential to be an incredible series called The Crow, based on a long-running comic book series done by James
And it
O'Barr.
had an amazing actor in it, too.
Brandon Lee,
Dad.
the son of Bruce Lee, was the lead in The Crow. You can see him pictured there if you're watching our video feed, and it was an incredible film. Sadly, during a tragic accident on set, Brandon was killed when a stunt bullet accidentally pierced his body and killed him. So it was a very unfortunate situation. They went on to make a couple sequels that were fucking utter, complete garbage. Don't do that. They were garbage. And then, it was in developmental hell for years. And I'm talking decades, right? Now, new cast, new director, and they are in production, and they now have a date. Where's the date? I saw it.
And it looks like Bill Skarsgård's attached.
It's set to be released in 2024. Yes, Pennywise. That's correct. He is set to be the Crow. Again, if you have seen images from James O'Barr's comic, Bill Skarsgård really looks a lot like Eric Draven, even more so than Brandon did. But I think what Brandon did was do something a little different than the book that kind of created its own kind of persona, which is fine. It was a great film and one of my favorite films. So I'm very excited about that, and we look for that to be released sometime in 2024, Christian. So apparently they're on it. All right. Mike Flanagan has been busy working on his new series, The Fall of the House of Usher. Do you know what that is, Christian?
Edgar Allan Poe.
That's correct.
It's a work by him.
It is a work by Edgar Allan Poe. It was also a film that had... What was his name? He was famous.
It had somebody in it?
Oh, God. I can't believe I can't remember his name. There was a film that was done many years ago. It was The Fall of the House of Usher. God damn it.
Was it Christopher Lee?
No, keep going. What was the other one? Fucking Pit and the Pendulum.
His buddy? Peter something?
No, not Peter. No, not him. God damn it. I'm so embarrassed that I don't know the answer to this question.
I know.
He's a horror icon. He was the father figure in Edward Scissorhands.
The doctor guy that drops the hands?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's his fucking name? House on Haunted Hill.
Donald Pleasance.
I gotta look it up.
Go for it, dude. That's what we got the internet for.
I gotta look it up.
Oh, that's a cool Google Iron Man screen. Why is that there?
I told you I changed my theme.
Oh, right? I didn't realize it was a whole Google theme.
Fall of the House of Usher. Where the fuck is it?
You should have IMDb'd it. There it is. Well, that's 2023.
Doesn't matter. It gets me to the site.
Are you IMDb Pro still?
No, because we stopped doing interviews.
Sure.
Vincent Price. God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, I could not think of that shit. Vincent Price.
You should have said the guy from Thriller.
I should. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have. But anyway, he was an adaptation of the Fall of the House of Usher, and it was great. But this is going to be a series by Mike Flanagan. Of course, you know him from The Haunting of Bly Manor and The Midnight Club and all the other stuff that you've been talking about at the water cooler.
Netflix haunting stories.
Yeah, all the Netflix scary shit. Jesus, Lord in heaven, Christian. This fucking guy.
Danny Masterson from that 70s show, Hyde, the stoner guy character, apparently likes to forcibly force himself on rape charges.
30 years in prison worth of rape charges going back to summer of 2020 incident. This was first announced in the midst of the Me Too movement in 2017. And
it says he drugged and raped them. Jeez.
God damn. I mean, I know he was on that ranch show. That was the last thing I've kind of seen him on. I'm sorry, Shakira's got a video here playing, and it's hard to.
I know he's a Scientologist guy too, I think.
Well, doesn't look good for Scientologists either. Then, if that's the case, it doesn't look like good for anybody associated with this guy. And all the people from the show backed him up. I saw that too. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher and all those people.
They're like, well, he didn't rape me. I don't know.
Something like that.
Seems like a good guy to me.
Yeah, well, I guess you never know.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
Christian,
he's not doing that.
This story gave me quite the chuckle.
Yeah.
So apparently GameStop, where they sell discs of games, the boss, the CEO of the company, whatever, came out and said that disc drives should be required on game consoles. Huh. Interesting. I guess his official quote was, "It would be great if people had to buy more of the thing," unquote. Says guy who makes money selling the thing.
Can't blame him for that, man. That's what I mean, digital downloads, that's business taken away from them.
Do you come out and say something like this, or do you figure out a way to conform and change with the times?
Well, they are. That's why GameStop sell a lot more toys and stuff now these days. If you go in,
not well. I mean, when I go in there, it's a bunch of bullshit that is outdated and overpriced.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, it gave me a chuckle, so I thought I'd include that in the news. It's like, no shit, buddy. We know you would love for us to have to go in there and buy discs like we had to when we were kids, when the concept of a console that did nothing but streaming was far, far away.
Some people still like buying the physical games.
I cannot understand why. This was great fucking news. I was so excited about this news. Chris Claremont is returning for the Wolverine 50th anniversary next year. Now, if you don't know who Chris Claremont is, he's a legendary X-Men writer. He wrote a story that introduced Madripoor. Okay, or Madripoor, excuse me. What are you doing? Is that your Wolverine face? You looks like you're trying to take a shit. So
gonna have an aneurysm.
He is definitely credited with giving Wolverine the persona that we know of him as today, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Badass, wisecracking persona. That's him. And there is a new series coming. We have a cover here. It's called Madripoor Nights. This is I believe, a sequel story to one that Claremont did in the 90s with the X-Men. Which introduced Madripoor. So we get to see.
Went to Madripoor in one of the MCU shows.
They're still doing it. Yeah, it's still around. But Chris Claremont is responsible for the beginning of that. So that's why It's so exciting that he's coming back. So again, Wolverine celebrating 50 years next year. That'll be cool. Well, Christian, we thought he was going to. Well, okay, no, wait a minute. Never mind.
This week in Deadpool rumors, we have Liev
This week
Schreiber.
in Deadpool rumors. We'll do the first one first. Liev Schreiber, who played Sabretooth in the X-Men Origins Wolverine film.
Stole the role from what's his name?
Who? Oh,
the guy that
Tyler
had
Bates.
Yeah.
And the role is said to be bigger than just a cameo. There were very few positive things about that fucking movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was definitely at the top of the list for me.
Yeah.
So
maybe the other Sabretooth will make an appearance too. You never know with Deadpool.
Tyler Bates is a big motherfucker.
Yeah,
and I could buy him as Sabretooth, but I didn't like the fact they didn't know each other. That made no sense. I was like, huh? What do you mean? They're just people? Moving on with our Deadpool rumors. Well, this has actually been confirmed to not be true, but Ben Affleck's Daredevil from 2000 whatever is not going to be reprising the role in Deadpool 3 despite prior claims of him being spotted on the set. Yeah, it's sad. What I would guess is he probably visited the set and probably pitched it as a goofy idea to Reynolds, and somebody heard that and ran with it. I don't know.
Liars.
Bunch of liars. We found out from the composer of the Joker sequel, Joker Folie à Deux, that it is going to be an all-out musical.
Joker 2, the musical.
Why? I don't know. Okay. You know, if that's the way you want to play it, that's cool with me.
I wonder how much of a musical it is. You know, is it like we don't even talk, we just sing everything, or who knows?
Again, you know, because the first one did have a lot of musical sequences, right? So it's like, is that the kind of musical shit you're talking about, where he kills someone and then is dancing with some really haunting music?
Or is it going to be like Cats?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Which I really hope it's not the fucking latter. Let's just
Did you ever see that movie, Cats?
No. Fuck no. Did you?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, that would shock the shit out of me.
Part of me kind of wants to.
You just want to see them, and then you'll turn it off. I guarantee it. We've got season 2 of Marvel Studios' What If coming up, and now we have the episode lineup. You can see it here on our video feed, but I'll quickly go through them. I'm not going to say what if. Number 1, Gamora killed Thanos. Number 2, Captain Carter finds Hydra Stomper. This is continued from the What If from season 1. What if the Tesseract landed in Haudenosaunee Confederacy before the colonization of America?
Well, that's some kind of Indian confederation in America? Is that what
I think that's the idea. Yeah, I think that's the idea. What if Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne fought the Red Guardian during the 1980s?
You said what if?
Sorry. Yondu delivered Star-Lord to Ego as he was supposed to.
Yep.
Happy Hogan saved Christmas. And then Iron Man 3 is in parentheses. I'm not real sure what the fuck. Mean? I don't know.
Did they lose Christmas in Iron Man 3?
Wanda had grown up watching musicals instead of sitcoms. That'll suck. Odin and Hela had faced Winwoo. I don't know who Winwoo is.
Well, you need to get on the woo, dude. The Winwoo is going to be
I need to get on the woo. I'll get on the woo.
What you gonna do when the Winwoo comes for you?
Finally, Avengers had fought Surtur.
That was the big thing with in Thor 3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Well, it's good to know that Mr. George A. Romero, a great idol of me and Christian, is going to have his work continue on with Twilight of the Dead. This was something that he was working on before he passed in 2017. Brad Anderson, who directed Session 9 and The Machinist, is going to be taking over.
Session 9 was good. Did you see that?
I love Session. Yeah, that's why I was excited. That's why I put the fucking story in there. Because I was like, all right, this guy's kind of, I feel like he's very George-esque.
He's got some chops.
Right, for sure. So we will look forward to that. Again, we don't have a date yet, I don't believe, but I think it's next year. Again, we're just in initial talks here for the development of the film. So we need some Romero zombie stuff. It's been a while since we've had any of that shit. So, Christian, that is all I've got for the news.
All out of news today, folks. We've done it all.
Let's get over to our events and take care of those. First of all, want to talk about the upcoming ACW show. It's Barnyard Beatdown 3, coming up October 21st. And this is going to be happening at the Winfield Riding Club in Winfield, West Virginia. This is apparently a benefit for the West Virginia Horse Network. I guess this is the horses in West Virginia and an effort to make their lives better. So it is a free show, but they will be welcoming donations for this cause. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of great local stars in there. And anytime ACW and Time Warp are involved, it's usually a good show. Once again, that is October 21st, meet and greet, 6 p.m., bell time 7 p.m. You get more details when you head over to ACW's Facebook page. That's Appalachian Championship Wrestling. Just search them, and they'll pop right up. Christian, I thought this looked cool as shit. Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party.
Yeah, I saw. That's cool.
This is going to be happening in February of next year at the Charleston Coliseum. It's basically monster trucks, but they look like Hot Wheels cars, and apparently they glow under black lights. So I thought that was kind of cool.
If you're going to do acid and go to a monster truck rally. I saw somebody do that once. There's a YouTube video of that, dude. It's pretty funny.
I watched that after the Fallon apology video. But yeah, it just looks like a lot of fun. Bigfoot's supposed to be there. Wow. You haven't seen Bigfoot in years.
What's he been doing?
I don't know. We're going to find out. You're going to take me to this shit. So you can check this out. Once again, it's happening at the Charleston Coliseum February 3rd. And tickets are on sale now at all Ticketmaster locations, including online. And it does look like there's plenty of seating. And it looks like seats start from $20. So that'll be fun, too.
That's cool how Hot Wheels is getting in on the monster trucks.
Well, they should have. They should have been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, what are they thinking?
That's all I got, Christian. You got anything else you want to cover this week?
Say they need to put you in charge, dude. Put her in charge.
I should be put in charge of a lot of things, and a lot of things on this earth would be better.
We know.
I'll leave it with that. I support you.
And I support our listeners who want to support us.
Yes.
If you don't want to support us, I still support
you. Didn't even bring this up the whole show. I probably should. Podomatic.com, Podomatic.com /GeekZip podcast. Also on Facebook at GeekZip with 2 P's. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the whole 9. We also have our Patreon subscription available to you. You can find that link at the Podomatic page as well. Email us your questions, comments, suggestions to geekzippodcast@gmail.com. Anything else, Christian?
You got it.
All right, buddy. Have a safe drive home, and hopefully we'll see you back in the cave next week. For Christian, this is Ryan Zip. I just got a text. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Geeks out.